Hi there, Simon from Horma Studio. Welcome to From the Ground Up, your companion course to understanding composition, crafting better images, and running a successful archviz business. Whether you're only taking advantage of the free course or already purchased the full course, thanks a lot for being here. I hope this little journey with me in the realm of archviz will bring you a lot of knowledge, inspiration, and motivation to push your craft further. Before diving straight to the course, I'm going to take a minute to let you know a bit more about Horma. I started Horma right after architecture school back in 2014. I worked in-house for an architecture company in Paris for a year, where I rapidly learned how to work quickly and efficiently in a fast-paced environment, mainly working on big competitions in all over Europe. I definitely recommend this method if you want to learn efficiently archviz in a short period of time. During that year, I was also growing my personal portfolio of clients, and after a year, I started to have enough work with Horma to take it to a full-time job. Horma is a one-man band, even though sometimes it can appear there is a whole team behind the name, and I occasionally will do collaborations with friends or other artists for specific projects, but generally speaking, every images and videos that come out of the studio is done only by myself. The reason I kept the studio that way is not for lack of opportunity to expand, but because it aligns better with the way I like to work, the fact that I like to take random extended periods of rest, and also I like to have the freedom to take time off to work on other projects, like personal projects, whether archviz related, like this course, or not archviz related, like design stuff or other business ideas. This is also the sort of ethos I'll do my best to convey throughout the business part of the course, to identify properly what you're after and put into place practices that will help you grow the business you want, and not just a copy of other archviz businesses out there. When it comes to clients, Horma is as green as it gets. Until now, I relied 100% on organic growth, meaning my clients were either people I knew from my first job or people that knew those people and gave me a chance and were happy enough with me and my work to keep on recommending me to other studios throughout Europe, Australia, America, and Canada. This led me to build a stable pool of clients that regularly come back to me for images and has helped me grow my business to a healthy pace that brings in enough money to live comfortably while keeping enough free time to rest or work on other ideas. Since the early beginnings, I always strive to share the little I knew about archviz through blog articles and later videos. The reason I did it early was because of a simple fact that my brother actually told me, is that just like there is always somebody that will know more than you do, there is also always someone that will know less than you do. Meaning, even at the top of my small knowledge, there were already some aspects of my knowledge that were already enough for other people to benefit from it. Thus was born the Horma YouTube channel, where I've been doing my best to do original videos on topics that were often under-discussed, and actually still are, mainly regarding composition, perception, and sometimes on daily issues freelancers can have. Enough with Horma, now back to the course. The course has a certain philosophy, if I may say, and will not be your typical course that drowns you in simple tutorial and how-tos. From the ground up is really about building the needed foundations for understanding images. This means that the majority of the lesson will be theoretical, explaining concepts, giving you practical examples, and therefore giving you the building blocks any archviz artist will need if they want to keep pushing their knowledge and practice further. Whether you're just beginning or already a seasoned artist, I can guarantee you there is plenty in this course that will be novel for you, and that will give you a renewed understanding of what it means to make images, whether for yourself or for a client. Unlike other courses that often talk about images done in a vacuum or in an abstract world, where clients say yes to everything, in this course I bring everything down to earth, with real-world scenarios where you need to explain your process to your client, justify your approach, and win your client's approval and trust with fact rather than mere opinions. All in all, this course is a good meshing of theory and practice that should get you ready for any potential upcoming commission. What is the course about? The course structure and logic follows a design principle called the double diamond. This design thinking principle relies on two dynamics: diverging, where we explore ideas and break down concepts, and converging, where we put back together ideas in order to build a proposal. Using this approach helps in keeping each part of the course clearly legible, with a diverging part that is theoretical and a converging part that is more practical. The course is divided in 9 diamonds that are themselves categorized under 3 big sections: the fundamentals, the core, and the business part. Here is a quick description of each of the diamonds you'll get to dive in this course. In the fundamentals, we have diamond 1. Diamond 1 from the ground up is about resetting your brain and understanding of composition. Composition is a word we see very often in the archviz world, and yet it is often poorly used word that is oversimplified. In this diamond, I'll show you first the consequences of this oversimplification on your actual images, and then explain you the true definition of composition. At the end of this diamond, you'll already be equipped with the right way of diving into any image and look for the right questions rather than ready-made approach. Diamond 2 is all about perception. Seeing images is good, perceiving what is happening in an image is way better. It actually is a fundamental skill that all archviz artists must have. In this diamond, I show you everything you need to know about the dynamics at play in an image, tensions, visual weights, balance, so that at the end of the diamond, you will have built the skills to look at images in a more abstract way and be able to build more compelling images that rely on unconscious reading all humans have when it comes to looking at images. In the core section, we dissect the 4 core components of composition explained in Diamond 1. Diamond 3 will deal with intent, show you what it means to identify, clarify, and implement intent into your image and the difference it makes between a mere technically accurate image and a successful and compelling image. Diamond 4 will deal with frame. Here we'll dive deeper than simple boring grid systems and have a look at all the components that come into play when you're building your images in terms of framing and what is the impact of each parameter on the end viewer in terms of perception, understanding of information, and visual impact. Diamond 5 is all about light, and here we'll analyze the real impact of light in how we read images, and I'll give you simple actionable keys to understand what type of light leads to what type of reading and leads to what type of understanding and perception in the end viewer. We'll go further than the boring golden hour soft light in order to understand what scenario will fit better the project you are depicting so that you really are delivering value to your client and not simply repeating the same scenario with all your contracts. Diamond 6 is all about colors. In this diamond, we'll all have a look at the inherent dynamics of each color, understand how they behave alone and in groups, and use that knowledge to build successful color palettes. Armed with a thorough understanding of how color changes throughout the day, year, and types of weather, you'll be able to precisely choose the right scenario for your image in order to convey specific emotions in an accurate way. In the bestness section, we have Diamond 7. Diamond 7 is all about creativity, input, and output. In this diamond, we dissect what is creativity, why it matters, and how to foster it and spark it on demand. With different lessons on the repertoire and references, I give you a whole toolkit on how to create a creative routine that will help you stay on top of each contract coming up with creative and original ideas. Diamond 8 is all about client and carrier. As I told you earlier, the reason I keep Horoma small is not because I can't grow it, but because it is what I want to do. In this diamond, I will give you the keys to understanding properly what it is that you actually want to do in this business field and how to implement the right practices in order to aim at this goal and not lose yourself in copying other practices around you. With lessons spanning from ethics to pricing, cash management, to client and time or contract management, at the end of this diamond, you'll have all the necessary knowledge to take the right decisions so that you can grow your business according to your own rules, whether you're freelancing or intending to build a larger studio. Diamond 9 is all about process. Probably the most practice-oriented diamond. Here I dissect a typical workflow to make an image from A to Z. Each step will have a theoretical part explaining the importance of said step and what kind of information you can leverage from it. And then a practical part that will show you how to do it in practice with sometimes additional tools like automation scripts in order to boost your productivity. Ranging from scene exploration to client objection management to final delivery, each step is thoroughly detailed with additional checklists so that you never skip a beat and deliver high standards and consistency of service to all your clients. Theory and practice alone in front of your computer while drinking a cafe latte or beer is all in well, but how can I be sure you understood the concepts if I don't see you practicing them, right? To that end, I'm organizing regular workshops throughout the year so that you can hop in, work on a specific scene with me, and put into practice the different ideas you normally have learned in the course. This will be the opportunity to you to double check your knowledge, ask questions, and basically see what it is to use the from the ground up way on a project. There is a board in the community section with the different dates for the year for the upcoming workshop so that you can organize yourself and see which one you can attend. I strongly recommend you finding the time to come to the workshop, whether you followed the course or not. If you haven't followed the course, this can actually be a good springboard and introduction to the methodology I'm teaching in the course. And if you followed the course already, or parts of it, this will be a good way to practice and refresh your memories about different ideas and topics. Workshops typically take place over the course of a weekend, 2 afternoons more precisely, and will basically put you in a sandbox scene and will work together on building a set of images based on a brief I will give you. With several checkpoints throughout the day, we'll all make sure we apply efficiently the concepts seen during the course to better mesh the theory with the practice and discuss anything you might have issues with so that you're better armed to tackle your next commission project. Overall, the workshops are still pretty chill event where we just learn by doing, by asking questions, and by following a clear process that is explained within the course. Coming with any plan of the course is an access to a community area. In this area, you can keep on discussing topics of the course, get information on the roadmap and news regarding From the Ground Up, post your own work to get feedback either from me or from the rest of the community, and basically network with like-minded individual and artist peers. I'll do my best to keep this area active by posting daily insights and references that you can use for your own work. I really invite you to take the opportunity to use the community area and post your work, as this is probably the only place where instead of simple likes and hearts, you will actually get proper feedback that will help you grow. Less good for the ego, but better for the long-term quality of your work. For those of you who took the battle plan, I'm looking forward to receiving your work for review and discussing it together in a future meeting. Normally, you should have received an email or have access to a specific section where everything is explained, how to book a one-on-one meeting with me, what you need to send me, and all the other little details to make this a smooth process. From experience, I can tell you that whatever level you're at, there is a high chance you will learn a lot from this discussion, as it is actually very rare that artists manage to get a proper thorough review of their work. Having done this for dozens and dozens of artists of the past years, whether their portfolio was of a beginner level or already pretty impressive, they all learned actionable tips and insights on how to take their work even further. On top of the battle plan, you also get access to an exclusive section in the community called the Teardown Vault. In this section, I will post all the teardowns down for the students so that on top of learning from your strengths and weaknesses, you can also learn from other students, thus growing even faster. There is also a premium dedicated area where you can post your work for review, in which I will give thorough feedback on your work on a daily basis. Resources and discounts. Thanks to the different partners to this course, I am able to offer you the majority of the toolkit I present to you in the course at a fraction of the price. I'm generally happy to be able to do so because this should for sure help you in implementing the different process optimization and automation that I present to you in Diamond 9. In order to take advantage of all those offers, simply head to the community section on the platform in the resource and discount page. In there, you'll find all the discount codes and assets and licenses that you can use after purchasing any plan of From the Ground Up. With that, you'll be ready to leverage the power of the many scripts I'll present to you, boost your productivity, minimize your time on menial boring tasks, and basically quickly take your practice to a pro level and start enjoying work by focusing on the most valuable part of your service, creativity. So I guess this is it. We can probably start now. One last thing before we jump in Diamond 1. This course is long and dense. While we can theoretically binge watch it Netflix style in under a week, I invite you to take the time to go through it in several sittings and take the time to let the concepts and knowledge sink in. I still have nowadays students from the first cohorts that are coming to tell me they are rediscovering lessons with a new eye years later. Hence why I invite you to go regularly and properly through the whole course at first, lesson after lesson, in order to get the whole structure properly. In the future, you can also come back easily to specific topics and revisit concepts thanks to the fact that lessons are generally quite short and straight to the point. One type of video that is very important is the theory to practice that you will find at the end of each diamond. These little videos give you exercises and practice habits so that you can really leverage what you've just learned in the diamond you just saw. Just like for any self-development books, what matters is not to read it, but to put into practice. So I urge you to pick a few ideas from those videos and apply them. I guarantee you will see a big difference later down the road in your practice because there is no better way of integrating knowledge than by simply practicing. So thanks again for joining the class. Now let's move on to the first section about the fundamentals and Diamond 1 from the ground up. Cheers.